it's Hailey, and today I'm going to be talking about my most anticipated releases for spring 2018. So I've done quite a few of these videos in the past. I actually never ended up doing one for winter. I just had so many other videos I wanted to do. The winter one always is the hardest to do because there's so many like end of the year videos, beginning of the month videos, all in that one time. I do my updated bookshelf tour, so it's just really hard to fit them all in, and unfortunately this year I never ended up doing it, but I am back at it again with another one. That sounded like I was about to drop like a fire mixtape or something. Boom! Okay, now that we've established that I am not hip and or cool, I'm going to be talking about books that are coming out in either April, May, or June of this year. So before I get into the video, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and click that little bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I post. I put up new videos every Monday and Thursday, as well as bonus videos sometimes. You can also follow me on all of my social media. I will have my handles and links all down below for you guys. And now, without further ado, let's talk about the awesome new releases that I'm looking forward to this year. So first is Beyond a Darkened Shore by Jessica Leake. This is coming out on April 10th, and it follows Sierra, who is the princess of a kingdom that has been tainted by war its entire existence. However, Sierra is able to keep this kingdom safe because she is able to control its enemies. But then some weird stuff starts happening with a crow that is warning of an oncoming evil, but they don't know exactly what it is. This seems to have a little bit of everything. It's inspired by Norse mythology, Celtic lore, Vikings, Fae, magical Ireland. It seems like it is going to be just a mashup of a bunch of really cool things. I don't want it to be too much. I hope that the author's not trying to take on too much and fit in too much mythology. I think if it takes its inspiration lightly and is able to combine those mythologies, it's going to be a super cool story. So we will see when it comes out. It actually comes out tomorrow when I'm filming this video, but you will be seeing this later. That being said, I don't know when this video is going out, so some of these might be out already, and if so, I'm sorry. Next is Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. For some reason, there are a bunch of books that are coming out that all have to do with Vikings, and this is another one of them. This is coming out on April 24th, and it follows Eileen, and she is raised to be a fearsome warrior. She lives a brutal life of fighting and fighting for her survival. However, her life takes a turn when she is fighting in a battle and sees her brother, whom she thought to be dead, fighting with the enemy. So that takes her on a wild journey of trying to find her brother and being like, what is happening? Like, I don't understand. I feel like this has the potential to be a wild ride. It could deal with some really cool sibling relationships, and I'm all for a kick-ass female, so I'm down for this. Next is Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli. This is coming out on April 24th as well, and it follows Leah from Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda. I am so excited for Leah to get her own story, especially because in the movie, Leah is kind of the character that was changed the most. In the book, she's a very different character because she's plus size and she's kind of self-conscious about it, but she's also this badass drummer, and then in the movie, you didn't really get to see that so much. So I'm so excited for her to have her time to shine in this book as she comes to terms with the fact that she's bisexual. So from my understanding, it's kind of a coming out story for her, and I'm so excited. I cannot wait for this. Next is Ozland by Wendy Spinale. This is coming out on April 24th as well, and this is the finale, I believe, to the Everland trilogy. I read Everland last year, and then I listened to Umberland on audiobook, and I loved the audiobook so much. It was so well done, so I definitely want to listen to Ozland on audiobook. Everland was a Peter Pan retelling, Umberland was an Alice in Wonderland retelling, and then this final book is a Wizard of Oz retelling, so we have kind of the golden trifecta of children's lit there, and I'm so excited to see where the series is going to go. It's a really weird, like, steampunk sort of sci-fi thing, very unique to any other retellings I've ever read, and I'm so looking forward to seeing how things are gonna wrap up. Next is actually a book that I already own, and that is The Smoke Thieves by Sally Green. This is coming out on May 1st, and it is once again a Viking-inspired story. It's a medieval fantasy world where we have 4 or 5 characters that all have their weird own things going on. We've got a princess, a thief, a traitor, all that jazz, and I feel like the combination of all these characters is going to be a really cool game of political warfare. This is kind of compared to Game of Thrones. It gives me Fallen Kingdoms vibes, so my expectations are definitely quite high, especially because I really enjoyed Half Bad, so we'll see how this one goes. Next is, of course, A Court of Frost and Starlight Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. When I looked on Goodreads, this one actually said it was coming out on May 3rd. I thought it was coming out on the 1st because I think the 1st is a Tuesday and books come out on Tuesdays. So it's either coming out on the 3rd or the 1st. I don't know. But this is the next novel in the Court of Thorns and Roses series. I don't know anything about it because I didn't read the synopsis because I was just like, I'm gonna buy it anyways, but I know that it doesn't follow Feyre, I don't think. I'm just gonna read it and see what happens. Don't tell me if you know like who it follows or anything. I just want to pick it up and then go into it and see how it is. Next is another book that I already own, and that is Put In by Julie Murphy. This is a companion to Dumplin' by Julie Murphy, which I read and really enjoyed. I also got to visit the movie set. I don't know when that vlog will be out for you guys, but hopefully soon. But this time we are following Millie, and it's all about her going on this mission for the summer. It's the first summer that she isn't going to fat camp, and she has her eyes set on kissing her crush, and it sounds like it's going to be so adorable. I really enjoy Millie as a character, so once again, I'm excited to get a side character in the spotlight. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but this is coming out on May 8th. Next is Love and Luck by Jenna Evans Welch. This is also coming out on May 8th, and you might remember this author from Love and Gelato. So Love and Gelato was set in Italy, and this is set in Ireland. I'm so excited to visit the Emerald Isle in this story. I've actually been to Ireland, but my own experiences were tainted by illness, and that's where I messed up my ankle, and it was the first 3 days of our month-long backpacking trip in Europe, and it was just a disaster. I had strep throat, so I didn't really get to enjoy Ireland that much, but I did still really have a great time. But this book follows Addie, and Addie is on her way to Ireland for her aunt's wedding. She's hoping that this trip will allow her to leave her problems behind, especially her conflicts with her brother, but she ends up going on this whirlwind adventure all over Ireland. I'm so excited for this book, especially since I did really enjoy Love and Gelato. I think this is going to be really good. Once again, I don't know if I said it, but it's coming out on May 8th. Next is Dark of the West by Joanna Hathaway. This is also coming out on May 8th, and honestly, the thing that intrigued me the most about this is the fact that it says that it is comparable to Codename Verity. Codename Verity is one of my favorite historical fictions, and it's a really different book, so the fact that it's compared to that very much intrigues me. This is kind of, from my understanding, a fantasy, but it might be a little bit historical. I'm not too sure on that, but it follows a boy who is raised in a revolution and a princess who is raised in a palace. And it's really just their meeting. Like, the synopsis sounds nothing like Codename Verity, so I'm very intrigued to see where the comparison is coming from. Next is Fury Born by Claire Legrand, another book that I own, and this is coming out on May 22nd. This has like a really intense synopsis because it seems like a very intense high fantasy. What really intrigued me was this line here. It follows two young women, centuries apart, who hold the power to save their world or doom it. I'm so interested to see how this is going to play out. I have no clue what's going to happen. I kind of want to just go into it and let the world take me. Next is From Twinkle with Love by Sandhya Menon, and this is coming out on May 22nd as well. Sandhya Menon is the author of When Dimple Met Rishi, and that was such a cute contemporary love story, and this one sounds like it is going to be even better. So this follows filmmaker and wallflower Twinkle. It's really a journey of love where she has a crush on this one guy and then ends up having a crush on this other guy, but what really intrigues me about it is it's told in letters to her favorite female filmmakers, and I think that is so cool. I'm so excited to learn about some new females in the film industry, and I think Twinkle sounds like she's gonna be such a cute character, so I can't wait. Next is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. This is coming out on May 29th, and it is the sequel to Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I'm so excited for this because in the last book we followed the perspective of the eldest sister, but now we're following the perspective of the younger sister, who I felt like I really identified with, and I was really interested in her as a character. I don't know anything about it other than that because Caraval was very mysterious, so I feel like it's one that you need to just kind of let it take you where it will. And my final anticipated release, of course there's so many more out there I could talk about, but I had to keep this a reasonable list, but the last one I'm going to talk about is A Reaper at the Gates by Sabaa Tahir. This is coming out on June 12th, and it is the next installment in the An Ember in the Ashes series. I'm definitely going to be doing a reread leading up to this release because I need to refresh my memory. It's been a while since the last book came out, but it's definitely a brutal world, kind of inspired by the ancient Roman Empire, and it's just like so intense. It literally gave me nightmares, and I think it is going to be a great next installment. I'm really looking forward to it. So those are all of my most anticipated releases for spring of 2018. Let me know what books you are looking forward to the most, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!